Hi, this is Larry London for the Voice of America and Border Crossings, and we welcome you to a very special show. We're here in Merriweather Post Pavillion, which is in Columbia, Maryland. Sitting across from me is one of the hottest names in country music we'd like to welcome to the world and to the Voice of America, Sam Hunt. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Congratulations on all the success. This has been a whirlwind couple of years, I guess, for you.
Yeah, especially this past 12 to 14 months. We put out our first single last June, and haven't really had time to look back since, and things have just progressively gotten cooler and cooler and busier, but it's been nice.
There's a lot of pressure on you. I know you put out a mixtape, back in January, and an EP, but the big album, Montevallo, my gosh, how do you finish that and follow that up? I don't
know. I've just started to think about that. We've been so busy on the road that I haven't really put much thought into, the next project and the catch-22 with the success of the first few songs is that we're thrilled that they have gone up the chart so fast. But now that we're 4 singles in, it's time to start working on a new record. So it happened a little quicker than we thought. So I didn't have as much time to sit down and write and start working on the next record. But we're getting home next week, and I'm going to get back in the studio, and I'm excited about that because that's one of my favorite parts of this whole process is the songwriting.
And I don't want to steal your freedom. I don't want to change your mind. I don't have to make you love me. I just want to take your time. I don't want to wreck your Friday. I ain't gonna waste my life. I don't have to take your heart. I just want to take your time.
And the first artist in, I guess it is 22 years to have all, 3 singles consecutively go up to the top of the country charts?
Yeah, I don't know what the details of some of those specific stats, but there are some pretty cool records that we've been able to break, I guess. But, the most important thing is that people are coming out to the shows and people are enjoying the music, and that's enough for us. But we've been blessed.
Country music hasn't always been the road that you started off on. You were an athlete. You were, what is it, the Wendy's? I don't know what the exact name of it, the equivalent of high school Heisman Award quarterback, and then you were offered an opportunity to try out with the Kansas City Chiefs. So as a football athlete, that was kind of the first love, wasn't it? Or was it music?
Yeah, it was. That's what I had been doing my whole life up until I turned 18 or 19, went off to college, bought a guitar. I thought it would just be a hobby and something cool to maybe pick up. I didn't think I'd be any good at it, but discovered that I might have a bit of a singing ability, and more importantly, I really enjoyed the songwriting. So it all sort of came together at the same time. And but football that was my life up until that point.
And it was songwriting actually is where you started, right? You were writing songs for a number of Reba and for quite a few other folks.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily writing specifically for those artists, but as I was writing and trying to find my own sound as an artist, I was fortunate enough to have some of those people I grew up listening to come along and find some of the songs and record them and put them out. So that helped me get going with my artist thing.
And boy, I'll tell you, the ladies love you. There's been a lot of, about your handsome looks and your sexy voice. Billboard wrote a sexy voice. So they're talking, and obviously the quarterback turned musician. You're a ladies' man.
Well, I think the songs on the record they're all based on my early mid-20s. So they're really relationship based, and I think that's I don't know, for whatever reason, that relates more with the female demographic, I think, a lot of times than the male demographic. So I think that's a big reason why we have a strong female following.
And I read somewhere where you chose the name of the album from an ex-girlfriend's hometown.
Yeah, I was those years that I was writing the record, there was a girl that I was dating who lived in Montevallo, Alabama. And it was it's a really personal record, and a lot of the songwriting was inspired or revolved around that relationship and the people around us, her friends and my friends. And so I didn't want to name it after her, but I thought that would be an obscure way to do it, make it a personal.
And what did she have to say when she found out you were naming an album after her hometown?
Well, at that point in time, our communication wasn't as often. We didn't communicate as often, but I really haven't talked to her about that since.
Wow. Well,
hopefully she's okay with it.
She would get down with somebody I know. I guess that's just how it goes when you break up in a small town. I see our friends and they put on a show like they don't want me to know, so they give me the go around. But there's only so many streets, so many lights, where it's like I can't even leave my house. Should've known all along, you gotta move and move on when you break up in a small town.
I know that, right now, people around the world are talking about your music. I mean, obviously, you've made a very strong, solid statement coming out of the chute with all the number ones and the awards that you've won and that were nominated for this past year. Do you have plans for an international tour?
Yeah, we just recently turned on a lot of the music over in Europe, and we made one trip last spring to London, and I didn't realize how big country music is becoming over there, and just how much they appreciate music over there. There's like a different level of respect for music, and especially like the songwriting element of music. And I really enjoyed the last trip, so we're already planning this spring to head back, or next spring to head back over.
Mm-hmm. And the process for songwriting for you, is it songs reflect what you've lived or what you've observed, or is it a combination of both?
Both. I think it's a lot of times there'll be an inspiration that comes from an experience I've had, and the song may not be true to detail, but you just take that little nugget of reality and embellish it and make it a little more romantic, and it ends up becoming a song. But it's partly being around people who I've observed, being in and out of relationship, friends, and then myself going through those experiences too. Mm-hmm. It's a really human, I think, record. It's really relatable from that standpoint. It's just songs about real life things that we all experience as we're growing up.
And you've been influenced by quite a diverse. I read again where it was R. Kelly. You like R. Kelly's music. You like Alice Cooper's music.
Yeah, well, I didn't necessarily listen to Alice Cooper, but I did listen to a lot of rock stuff. But I grew up in Atlanta, or about an hour from Atlanta,
right,
in the '90s, and so R&B music in the '90s was really happening in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So I think by proximity, I was just close enough to be influenced by that music without even knowing it. So I didn't really put a lot of thought into it. When I picked up a guitar and sat down to play, it's just kind of what came out. So it's just a combination of all those things I listened to growing up.
Find a road with no name, lay back in the slow lane. Skies dropping, Jupiter around us like some old train. We'll be rolling down the windows, I bet you we'll catch a nice second wind. We don't have to go home, we can leave the night on. We can leave the night on.
Well, where were you? Do you remember the first time you heard your songs on the radio? The very first time that you heard your music on the radio? That's something usually that sticks in a musician's.
Yeah. Well, the one experience that really stands out is when I was still just writing songs, and Kenny Chesney recorded a song called "Come Over," and I was at the house, and I guess it had come out on the radio that day, and I'd gotten some text messages that they were playing it. So I pulled my car up to the front door where the kitchen was because I was cooking breakfast, and I was going to leave the door open and roll the window down and just wait to see if I heard it. And as I was pulling it up just 5 or 6 feet, it came on, and so I sat there in the car and had a pretty cool moment listening to that song.
And when you found out you had hit number one, where were you? What was going on then?
As an artist?
Yes, as your own songs.
Yeah. I don't remember. It's been such a whirlwind. There's all these little cool moments that I can't quite place where I was or what I was doing. But I remember it being really cool because, I try not to watch the charts a whole lot because it can just mess with you trying to look at the numbers to see how much it's climbing or how much your song's selling. But I do remember when it did make it a number one. I think my buddies at the record label gave me a call and to let me know that it was going to happen. And it was exciting just to get that first one. I've watched so many artists come along and not be able to – it's just hit or miss, whether or not you're going to be able to kind of ring the bell and get that first number one. And I was fortunate to have it be the first song we put out. And it's just paved the way for these other songs.
We'll have a house party. We don't need nobody. Turn your TV off. Break that boombox out. We'll wake up all the neighbors till the whole block hates us. And the cops show up and try to shut us down.
And at this point, probably thinking about the next album, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I've just got home last week for a couple of days and got back with my producer and started writing a little bit. But I've tried to pile up a lot of ideas, thoughts, and just from some of the experiences I've had over the past couple of years. So I'm anxious to get back in the studio and see where the creative process kind of takes the music.
Yeah, there's a lot of great artists in music these days, a lot of great country music artists. So that's why the format's doing so well. And it's because of music that you're putting out, Sam. You're one of the hot guys in the business right now.
Well, it's cool to be a part of the family. It's I sat back behind the scenes and watched it for so many years. It's cool to finally be a part of it.
And you're making great videos, too.
Thank you.
Enjoy it. So thank you, Sam Hunt, for being our guest.
Appreciate it.
I want to give you a chance to say hi to the worldwide audience that are tuned in right now.
Hey, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I appreciate y'all listening to the music and spreading the word. This is it's amazing. It means a lot to me and all the guys out here on the road. Hope to see y'all sometime on the road soon.
Sam Hunt, our guest. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I'm Larry London. This is Border Crossings on TV.